mechanism, that is substitution reactions. One, although the reaction mechanism involve a number of reactions, but even then we will actually consider some of the limited reactions in this particular thing. So we'll start with this session. Now what we will be discussing here is reaction mechanism. It consists of two parts. The one part is reaction. Now generally what we are dealing here is organic reaction. What we are considering is organic reaction. Organic reactions actually involves organic compounds. They are mostly consist of carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, oxygen, etc. So carbon is the main constituent which is actually responsible for a separate branch of chemistry also called as organic chemistry. And what we will be dealing today is reactions involving the carbon and mechanism. Now mechanism, it is actually the probable pathway by which products are formed. So it is actually the mechanism is the probable pathway by which products are formed. So more than one such pathways are possible. So which is most appropriate? This is all about the mechanism of a reaction. Now suppose A plus B gives C. These two are actually called as reactants and this is the product. Now in this reactant, suppose A can be your substrate and B can be your attacking reagent. It can be treated in this manner also. You have a substrate, another molecule reacts with it which acts as an attacking reagent and it results in the formation of the product. So this is overall reaction and this entire reaction can be carried out in presence of a which may be polar, non-polar. Remember, it can be a protic or aprotic solvent also. So the general chemical reaction is substance is made to react with another substance to form a product, and the product can be one or it can be more in number, and what is done is This can be treated as a substrate on which a substance is made to react. So that is actually the attacking reagent. Before starting the reaction, we will simply have an idea about carbon. It is tetravalent in nature. So the carbon is tetravalent in nature. It can form 4 single bond, double bond, triple bond. These are the basic units that are actually observed during any chemical reaction. Now my question to all of you audience is, when I speak of the tetravalent nature of the carbon, what is the total number of, for example, let us consider an number of HCH bond angle in a molecule of methane, that is CH4. So my question is, what are the total number of hydrogen carbon hydrogen bond angle in a molecule of methane? I hope some of you can type the answer right now and try to give the answer. Okay. The total answer is 6. Now see how this answer 6 arises. When you speak of tetrahedral structure of methane, it is drawn like this, a pyramid like this, and you have one more hydrogen atom here. So you can clearly see that this kind of tetrahedral angle with an 109.5 degree. We will make it more clear using the model of methane molecule. This is actually the molecule of methane molecule. You can clearly see that this is actually the carbon. This is the first bond, this is the second bond, the third bond. It forms a pyramid like structure, and this further forms 3 more bonds, so overall structure. So this geometry is to be remembered while considering the chemical reactions of the methane molecule or the organic compound containing the carbon atom. So this is most important thing, that a substance is removed from here by bond breaking and a new thing is been added to this. Now if you look at various types of reactions, types of chemical reactions. There are many types of reaction. Substitution reaction, you have addition reaction, you have elimination reaction, you may have rearrangement, and you may also have remaining category other type like pericyclic, photical, etc. Substitution reaction, addition reaction, elimination reaction. Now, as the name indicates, substitution reaction, let us take an example. A plus AB combines with C and results in the formation of this kind of reaction where an atom or a group of atom is replaced by another atom or group of atom so as to form a different product. Then such kind of reaction is called as a substitution reaction. See, this is actually the substrate, it is the attacking reagent, it is actually the leaving group. It is actually the product, or you can say the substituted product, and this one is actually removed. So this kind of reaction is actually also called as single displacement reaction. This type of reaction is also considered as single displacement reaction also. Addition reaction. Now, in case of addition reaction, for example, you have an unsaturated hydrocarbon and you combine with the molecule of H2, it actually results in the formation of HH. So what happened? A double bond is broken down, combined with H2 and resulted in the formation of this product, that is the addition product. Then elimination, it is the reverse of this, say X, say Y. This may result in the formation of XY. So this is again a elimination reaction. Small atom or group of atom are been removed and results in the formation of the unsaturated hydrocarbon. Rearrangement reaction, you may have this kind of compound, it may result in the formation of such kind of product. Say for example, you have 6 carbon atoms. So it may result in the formation of this kind of compound, or actually any, so the atoms are not removed, atoms are not added, they simply rearrange among themselves. Now when we will concentrate now on substitution reaction. What are actually substitution reaction? What are the type of substitution reactions? Substitution reaction. Simplest example. For example, in order to explain, so AB plus C gives you a compound AC plus B. Now, the substitution reaction, when we consider that something is substituted from the original product, This is actually the attacking reagent. Now this attacking reagent can be of different types. It can be a nucleophile, it can be a electrophile, and it can be a free radical. Coming to the point, the attacking reagent, the group is attacking this particular substrate, and can be a nucleophile, electrophile, and a free radical. Now I am using the word phile. Phile means loving. Loving means having affinity. It has affinity for that particular substance. So when I say nucleophile, it has affinity for nucleus, that is a positive charge. Electrophile, it has affinity for negative charge, or you can say electrons. And free radical, they have single unpaired electron. Let me write simple example of these three. Methyl carbanion, methyl carbocation, and methyl free radical. This is methyl carbanion, this is methyl carbocation, and this is methyl free radical. There are many other examples also. Example, when you have this Cl minus ion, OH minus ion, chloride ion, hydroxide ion, so these are COO minus ion. These ions also represent, see, all they have actually negative charge on them, or they may also contain lone pair of electrons. There are certain substances which may contain lone pair. For example, ammonia, it has lone pair of electrons. So they will attack a particular reagent where positive charge is present. So they are called as a nucleophile. When you are considering an electrophile, it should have affinity for electrons. So for example, nitronium ion, carbonium ion, for example, this particular case, and there are many other examples where you can have this kind of relationships. Okay. Now see, bond cleavage. All these attacking species are produced as a result of breaking of the covalent bond. A carbon-carbon bond, say example like this, it may be represented as consisting of 2 electrons. Condition number 1 is that the bond is so broken that the 2 shared pair of electrons are equally distributed to each carbon atom. So a free radical is generated, and it is called as heterolytic cleavage. And free radical, this is a single unpaired electron. It is very reactive. Unpaired electron, so it will try to rapidly combine with another reagent. And if you look at the geometry, is sp2 hybridized. That is, these three are present in a plane, and you can see the lone pair, that is the unhybridized p orbital, which actually contains this electron. So this is actually the planar representation of the free radical. They are very reactive, and they are produced by heterolytic cleavage. Second is homolytic cleavage. Oh, it was homolytic cleavage. This was, since it is equally distributed, so homolytic cleavage. And the second is heterolytic cleavage. Hetero means different. So the first one was homolytic cleavage. It results in the formation of the free radical. Then it is the heterolytic cleavage. Heterolytic cleavage will take place in a manner like this. Again, see, in case of carbon-carbon, since the polarity is same, but if we have this kind of atom, for example a halogen atom, so the electronegativity is high, electronegativity is low. So what happens is the electron moves here, and as a result of this, the bond that will be produced will be, so ions are produced. So this is actually the heterolytic cleavage is actually it arises due to the difference in electronegativity. It can move towards that side which has a higher polarity, which has a higher electronegativity, and results in the formation of different types of ion. So again, it forms a positive ion as well as a negative ion is formed. So this was about the type of the cleavage. Now we will consider substitution reactions. As I told you, it can be with the help of nucleophile, then it is called as the nucleophilic, electrophilic, and free radical. So we will discuss about first part, that is, say children, nucleophilic substitution reactions. So important thing is that the attack by nucleophile. Second thing is that substitution takes place, and represented by is in 1 or is in 2. There are many ways of representing this kind of reactions. In some of the books it's written S1, N, etc. So not to get confused. So SN1, SN2. These are two types. These are of two types. Substitution reaction, that is the nucleophilic substitution reaction. They are of two types, SN1 and SN2. We will discuss SN1 type of nucleophilic substitution reaction. SN1. It is, S stands for substitution, N stands for nucleophilic, and 1 stands for unimolecular. So SN1, S stands for substitution by a nucleophile and a unimolecular reaction. So unimolecular reaction is actually what does it mean? We will discuss. So SN1 reaction mechanism is considered. Let us consider it with an example. Now we can understand this with the help of this molecule. You can see that three methyl groups are there. I have represented only one methyl group. So CH3, CH3 and CH3. You can consider. You just simplify it. Now it's okay. So we have this kind of the molecule, and this is actually a bromine atom. What is happening is that when it undergoes a reaction, it combines with this OH group. Now this is actually the OH group, and what happens is that in this particular reaction, this Br is actually removed, and OH is actually attached to this. So what has happened? You can see clearly that this group, earlier it was this group, so it is substituted by this OH group. So that is what represented here. So we can see that this bromine atom is substituted by OH group, and bromide ion is actually removed. So in presence of aqueous alkali, the formation of alcohol is take place. So it is actually the alkaline, it is the aqueous hydrolysis. So simply the hydrolysis of this kind of compound results in the formation. Now this reaction actually occurs in three different steps. The first step is ionization of the alkyl halide. Now the alkyl halide here is this compound. It gets ionized into plus Br minus. Now this is actually the ionization of alkyl halide. The most important thing here is that if you look at this, the geometry of this molecule, it is sp3 hybridized, it is sp2 hybridized. This is in presence of water. Water is a polar solvent. It helps in the polarization and solvation. This is actually the ionic substance which is produced by this. Now this process entirely depends on this solvation by this water molecule. So if you consider this process, this is actually a slow step and it is reversible too. So it can again combine back and get converted into this. Then after this, it is attacked by molecule of water, and it results in the formation of this kind of oxonium ion is obtained. And then finally this oxonium ion in presence of another molecule of water it results in the formation of hydronium ion is obtained. Simply, it can be represented as, it is actually, this was the slow step and these are actually the fast step. So you have three steps: the ionization of the alkyl halide, attack by this particular, this is actually the nucleophile, this is the nucleophile which is attacking. It results in the formation of this intermediate product being unstable in presence of water molecule, another nucleophile molecule, it finally splits up into this. Now the main thing is that the bromine atom is being substituted by OH atom. So no doubt it is an example of substitution by a nucleophile. What is happening is you are removing Br minus and you are substituting it by OH minus. So it is substitution, that is nucleophile. Now the thing is that
मॉडल
so we have seen that CS3C, CS3, CS3Br, it gives CS3C, CS3, CS3 plus Br minus, and finally OH minus. Now, in general, it can be represented like this, and the reaction was taking place by SN1 reaction. The rate determining step the rate determining step is actually this ionization, and therefore the rate is given as K into alkyl halide. So you can see that it depends only on reactant. So concentration of reactant is important in this. If the concentration of the reactant is increased, then the rate of the reaction is going to be increased. So the main thing is that the process of ionization, and since only order 1, it comes out to be unimolecular also. Order is also 1 and it is unimolecular, therefore the term is in 1 is used. So we call it as SN1 reaction mechanism. Now the another important thing is that this is sp2 hybridized, this is sp3 hybridized. So what happens? It dissociates, results in the formation of this. Now see what happens is, it can be written as this. It has a planar geometry. It has a planar, it is like this. It has a positive charge here, positive charge here. Now the OH ion wants to attack. It can attack from this, it can attack from this side also. That is, if you have OH ion now attacking, it can attack from this end, it can attack from this end also. So there are two possibilities, that is either OH may attack from this side or OH may attack from this particular side. So either possibility do exist because of the planar structure. The OH can attach from this, it can attack from this. Now suppose, so this kind of thing can occur, so it may be called as inversion of configuration is possible and can also lead to racemization. So it may happen that the configuration may get inverted, but 50%, and it may lead to racemization also. See how? Suppose you have this kind of compound, R1, R2, R3, and the X is the leaving group. It is attacked by OH minus. Then, as stated, so this OH ion can attack from this, or it may result from this, resulting in plus isomer or minus isomer, or plus isomer. So you can see that since there is a possibility of this OH ion to attack the polar, to attack this planar group from either direction, therefore it results in the formation of optically active, and this substance should be optically active. Optically active substrate. So it's not stereospecific, but it can give result in the formation of this kind of the product. Now the product is also explained in terms of the fact that, so this is actually how racemization takes place. Order of reactivity, tertiary, secondary, and carbocations. We are considering the simple case only, tertiary carbocation, because the stability, because it depends upon stability of ions decreases. So it is more stable tertiary carbocation, secondary carbocation, primary carbocation, and also the rearrangement may also take place by the intermediate carbocations. And further, polarity of solvent. If the polarity of the solvent is increased, the rate of the reaction also increases, as it can be seen that the polar solvent helps in solvation of ions. It helps in solvation of ions. So this was about SN1 reaction mechanism. Now we will consider about SN2 reaction mechanism. You can have this kind of example also, where you can see that this chloride ion is actually removed by Br minus ion, or simply you consider as the similar type of the reaction like OH minus, and here also you are giving such kind of thing. It can be, this group can be like this CH3Cl, then it is combining with this. Now when you are considering this kind of the reaction, this type of reaction actually are preferred by in presence of by SN2 reaction mechanism. S means substitution, N means nucleophilic, and 2 means bimolecular. Bimolecular, let us consider the mechanism of this particular reaction. If you look at the geometry of this, it is now it is attacked by, say, OH minus. What happens in this reaction is a transition state is formed in which and then this is the first step, this is overall a reaction, and it is actually called as basically an associative type of reaction. Now this slow step, it is actually the rate determining step. And it is given as, rate law is given as K RCl into this particular OH minus concentration. So it is bimolecular. And it is also bimolecular. The concentration affects both RCl and OH. The change in concentration both will affect the rate of the reaction. So it is also a tool for identifying. See what is happening is, now here it is sp3 hybridized, and again it is sp2 hybridized. It has this kind of structure. From one side the chlorine atom is present like this. It is actually leaving. So this is actually the leaving group, and this is actually the attacking. And this is bond breaking, and this is bond formation. So bond formation, bond breaking occurs simultaneously, and a kind of state is obtained which is actually called as transition state. It is pentavalent. You can see the valency of carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, highly unstable. So it is highly unstable. The leaving group, it moves from this, and so there is always a backside attack. by nucleophile. So due to this backside attack, the configuration is always inverted configuration. So the configuration is always inverted. Racemic mixture cannot form by this process. Racemization cannot take place by this particular process. Now this is phenomenon was discovered by Walden and is also called as umbrella effect. It can be represented like this. And the product formed is if you look at the stereochemistry, the chlorine can be represented to this handle and OH is represented to this handle. So the rest unit is identical. So it is just like inversion of an umbrella. So it is called as umbrella effect. First of all, discovered by Walden. So main thing here is that there is always an inverted configuration. There is no chance of racemization. Then the inversion and there is always a backside attack. Now order of reactivity of alkyl halides for SN1, SN2, primary, secondary, tertiary, secondary. See, when we consider SN2, there is actually a kind of transition state. Had this a bulkier group, if these, then steric hindrance will take place. As a result, smaller is these atoms or group, the more ease is the backside attack. The attacking nucleophile should also be very small in size. So smaller nucleophile and these kind of atoms, for example, CS3Cl, CS3C, CS3Cl. This is for SN2. So in case of SN2, it will follow an SN2 reaction mechanism followed by this and least favored by this. And when you consider the SN1, since the stability of the carbocation and the solvation of the ion is a very important factor, CS3CH3. So you can see that CS3Cl, 3 hydrogen atom, 2 methyl groups, 3 methyl group, then 3 methyl group, and in this way you can, this was about SN1 and SN2. Looking to the time limit, actually it could be possible only to explain about the nucleophilic substitution reactions. In the next session, in the next class, we will consider the electrophilic substitution reactions and free radical substitution reactions. Thank you. So this was all about the nucleophilic substitution reactions, and we will then consider the electrophilic substitution reactions in different products, and finally the free radical substitution reactions in our next classes.